Thank you, Pascal. Thank you, Olena, as well. And thank you, everyone that helped me and helped us organize this event. Yeah, I'm very proud of standing here before you and being able to talk about the topic that I really care so deeply about. It's the topic of DePIN, but for me, DePIN is actually something that has been around for quite a while now, and it's more about the idea of this open crowdsource thing, let's say, right? My background is I've been in tech for many years now. 14 years ago, I co-founded a company together with my co-founder here at Acurast, Pascal. And we were working in the mobile security space, servicing most of the very large Fortune 100 companies in exactly that niche topic of mobile security. And the reason why we chose mobile security is because it is one of those technologies, like mobile in general, that has a huge impact potential. As we all know, it's impacting our lives day to day. And so does Web3. That's why in 2015, I was sucked into this Web3 space, into Bitcoin and blockchain and so on and so forth. And I was always amazed by the fact that it only needs a couple of very convicted people and people that have same beliefs so that they can orchestrate each other around software and solve very, very big problems. Now, one of the big problems that we all know about, and is probably also the lighthouse use case of decentralization, is, of course, Bitcoin. And the cool thing about Bitcoin is that here it just started in the middle of the financial crisis of 2008, and these 9 pages long white paper kicked off an idea of being able to provide an alternative to the current financial system with less systemic risks. Now, all of this idea was just basically poured into software, and decentralization was at its very core. And the idea was that you could create a store and transfer of value that would be completely censorship resistant and really in the hands of us humans. So from idea to movement. And now you may wonder, well, is the topic still relevant today, right? Because now it's been 16 years. And I think we all know the answer to that. Of course, it is still relevant today, and we still have all these sorts of bank runs and also banks going bust, right? The latest example is from last year, actually, Silicon Valley Bank, that basically speculated over interest rates and couldn't basically cover afterwards their debt and went bust. But don't worry for the employees, don't worry for the clients, because not all heroes wear capes. There is, of course, Jerome and Christina that are there to help us. And they're very happy to bail out all of the banks. And basically, yeah, after all, if you have such a nice and fancy printing machine, why not just turn it on and solve all your problems that you have by basically inflating the currency? And this is what happened. You see here also the money supply of the US dollar. And what you see there, that huge hike in the last couple of years, of course, it's COVID. And it is no surprise that if you give politicians the tool to basically postpone problems to future generations, they will make perfect use of it, because their terms usually is just about 4 years, and they have a very short kind of exposure to the problem so that they can just postpone it and postpone it. Of course, eventually it will catch up and we will face these problems as well. So yes, Bitcoin and decentralization is required more than ever, and it's actually the only tool, if you think about, that we have to hold politicians really accountable. Because if your reference currency is the one being inflated, you only realize once it's too late, if you take a look at Venezuela and so on and so forth. Now, what else have we achieved in the crypto and Bitcoin space? Well, actually, we managed to become one of the asset classes, top 10 asset class, measured by market cap in this case. And I mean, in 2015, when I first started looking at this topic, only crazy people would be able to say, hey, this is actually going to be surpassing major assets such as gold and so on and so forth. Nowadays, maybe not so much anymore. Like, you're still crazy by saying something like that, but not so much anymore. Now, the financial system is not the only topic prone to systemic risks. There is another very big topic that is very close to my heart as well, and this is, of course, compute. Compute is controlled by very few, and humans do need an alternative here. Because the monopoly, on one hand, translates to way higher costs than it should cost. But that's not the thing that I really care about. The thing that I really care about is the loss of data ownership. And this topic is now more relevant than ever, because many people before were saying, you know, I don't have anything to hide, and I'm not interesting enough for someone to analyze my data. And that may have been true, that you were just kind of noise, but that's no longer the case now, because since a couple of years, we have AI models that are no longer prone to something called overfitting. So before, you still had these amazing machine learning algorithms, but all of these machine learning algorithms had one big issue, that was after a certain amount of data, by adding more data, the model would actually become less accurate. Now, for large language models, we maybe don't have reached that level yet, or maybe they're simply not prone to this limitation. But what that means is that now you should definitely be concerned, because you're no longer noise, you are very valuable data. And all of these global market player, big tech, and so on and so forth, of course, give their data to all of their sub-processors. So your data is theirs plus their sub-processors, and then also all of the governments behind them. Now, Acurast, the solution to this problem, it's born from the idea that actually compute should be open, permissionless, and decentralized. And it should be by users for users. And now imagine what open source did to software, and now you can just kind of imagine what it will do to compute, applying that very same ethos. All of this, basically, as well, summarized in a easy-to-consume white paper that has been also co-authored by one of the participants here, Christian, who will be very happy to talk about it later on. So what is Acurast? It's an unstoppable compute. It's a peer-to-peer proof-of-stake protocol that is bringing compute providers with developers, so compute consumers, together. And it acts as a matchmaker and orchestrator in between. In the end, the idea is that you receive this permissionless, decentralized, unstoppable compute, accessible to everyone. Now, who needs this, or who is using that nowadays? The thing about Acurast is that we flipped the script on its head, and we started with the demand side first. So it was born out of the demand of a Web3 project that wanted to have a verifiable and decentralized compute. And that's about 3 years ago. And we've come a long way. And instead of thinking, okay, how can we create a new programming language, define new tools and so on and so forth, we went the other approach. We took a look at what is currently being used in the Web2 world, which are environments like Node.js, Python, and so on and so forth, and then we just applied those runtimes and provided them to the developers. And this has shown results. We have more than 3,000 deployment today, accounting for more than 21 million on-chain transactions. But what about the supply side, you may wonder? And that's actually something that really surprised me, and I think this is kind of where DePIN also comes into the play, because it gives me kind of these early Bitcoin mining vibes. So the question was, are we able to find people that are willing to provide compute to this decentralized cloud? Here we see how it looked like with Bitcoin mining, and this is how it looks like now with Acurast. People are upcycling old mobile devices, breathing a second life into them, and fully dedicating them to the network so that someone else is capable of deploying applications on these mobile devices. And the cool thing about that is that the scale at which this is growing is absolutely amazing. We have over 10,000 on-chain users today, over 6,500 mobile devices completely dedicated as compute units. Now, that translates to about 40,000 CPU cores, 30,000 terabytes of RAM, and about a petabyte of storage. So you see, you can actually deploy some serious application on this stuff. It's all at your disposal, and it's all just there because people believe that this is an important thing to solve. These people are just participating out of this idea of open crowdsourcing something new, of being part of that movement. Today, furthermore, is a very special day for us because we've been working quite long towards this day, and we have a very special announcement to make, because up to this moment, people had all to actually dedicate the device fully. So you couldn't use your everyday device. But with today, we're announcing the Acurast Lite application. And the Acurast Lite application is giving you the ability to utilize this underutilized resource throughout the night. So while you're charging, the mobile device will be able to provide the compute to everyone. Of course, with the full isolation over your personal applications. And there is Andreas in the back at the booth who will be very happy to show you how that looks like. And we're super excited about this step, because it will also lower the entry barrier for everyone that wants to join. So that's it, basically from my side. Thank you very much for listening. I will be around at the booth, and if you want to join us and join the Cloud Rebellion movement, please do so. The only thing you need is a mobile device, and you will be ready to go. Thank you.